Hey, everybody, welcome back to my Daily News X. Well, I'm your host, Kramer, and today we're reasoning in one of a very serious and urgent topic that could impact tens of millions of Americans beginning as of November 1st. We're talking about food assistance, possible social unrest, and how businesses are preparing, and what you, and especially seniors or vulnerable folks, can do to prepare. So what's going on, guys? Well, here's the situation that is happening here in America as we speak. The Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, often referred to as food stamps, is facing a funding shortfall because of the ongoing federal government shutdown. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, has said that no benefits will be issued on November 1st, affecting roughly 42 million of people. Some states are trying to step in with emergency funds, but the federal agency says it will not reimburse those states for doing so. In short, a key safety net program is about to go dark unless Congress acts, guys. That's what's happening. So now, what are people saying? Because tensions are rising very quickly. You know, a lot of people are speculating and talking about this the whole week. And they're saying a couple of things, that are, might be cautious about things that can happen in the future right now. So there's a lot of fear and speculation. For example, recipients say they have to choose between paying bills or buying food. Like one mother said, "My children won't go hungry." Food banks and charities are warning this is a man-made disaster if the cutoff happens. Some people are speculating, if we don't get food stamps, what else? Will people resort to stealing food to feed their families? That's something that we don't know, but it could happen. It is hard to say exactly how widespread that might be, but the anxiety level is very high, guys. Yeah. Now, what are some stores and business owners doing right now as we speak to get ready for this situation that could happen and unfold, unfortunately, on November 1st? Well, many large retailers, think about big companies like Walmart, Craig, Aldi, Whole Foods. Well, they're quietly preparing for possible chaos. All right. Some of them are reviewing security protocols, bringing extra staff members, surveillance at the most, very high, and locking all the bins for essential items or electronics that are kind of expensive, but people want them in high demand. This is in case there are surges in desperation or civil disorder. They're also monitoring stock levels and anticipating possible spikes in demand. Yes, this will happen because a lot of people, I think they're going to be buying more items in this 2 more days before the November 1st situation because they want to be ready and prepped. So you will see a lot of people walking into the store because people are trying to get what they can or need before the cutoff time. In some places, businesses are working with local law enforcement, community groups, and even food banks. So they're not caught completely off guard. There's less public detail. Yes, because companies don't advertise being embraced, for looting. They don't do that in the news or media. But industry watchers say many stores are taking this seriously, and they do an extra steps in order to be ready for this. The big question comes to hand: would there be protests, break-ins, or store thefts? It's possible, but not guaranteed. So here are some factors. Number one. On one side, we have 42 million people at risk of losing their monthly food assistance. So think about that. So someone might feel desperate enough to protest or take more drastic action. Yes. On the other side, many people are turning to food banks, community centers, or state charity relief efforts as alternatives and might avoid taking illegal action. Good for them. Just stay away from all this chaos thing that can happen, so putting yourself at risk, going out to the stores and, with people and, you want to avoid that kind of illegal action. Breaking into stores is always a risk in extreme scenarios. And some retail districts may brace for overflow or opportunistic crime. Yes, but it's not certain that mass looting will happen. It depends a lot on local conditions, for example, local economy, social cohesion, law enforcement, and existing food support networks. So yes, we should watch for the possibility, but also avoid jumping to the conclusion that chaos what's happening. Stay relaxed, stay calm, please. Now, what is the government and the states doing to prep themselves? Well, some states have declared states of emergency so they can use state funds to keep SNAP benefits going. Like, for example, Virginia and these other states that are doing the same thing, or fund food bank relief. However, USDA says that the program's contingency funds cannot legally be used to cover regular SNAP benefits without proper appropriation. There you have it. The federal responsibility remains, but with the shutdown unresolved, many states feel the burden is shifting onto them. I think this is mostly like what is happening right now. I think the federal government is kind of staying away from food stamps and transferring this to, to the states. So even if the government shutdown comes back to normal, I think they want to get rid of this program and just transfer the responsibility to the states. But well, I'm not sure yet, but I mean, that I see the picture, and I hope this is just a temporary, not a permanent halt, on the food stamps. And ultimately, onto the people. In effect, the federal government is saying we're out of funds unless Congress acts. And the states are scrambling to fill the gap. And the responsibility is beginning to look more local, community-based, just like I said. All right, so now I want to give you a couple of tips on how to prep yourself and get ready for November 1st, because it's coming very soon. So what you and older adults can do now. So if you are a U.S. citizen or older adults, here are some proactive moves to consider now. Number 1, build a short-term food buffer. Store non-perishable goods. I'm talking about canned vegetables, beans, pasta, rice, even bottles of water. I have like 5 cases right behind me. Of course, you don't see it in the camera, but you need to be ready and prep. And items you can prepare easily without requiring full utilities. Even 1 or 2 weeks' work can be a good relief. Number 2, know your local food aid resources. Identify and invite food banks, community meal programs, charities, and their hours. If SNAP benefits are delayed, you want to know where you can turn without scrambling last minute. Thinking about this way. The government still shut down, right? We don't know how long it's going to take to reopen. So that means they're going to stop paying until the last week of October. November, there's no benefits. There's no balance in your car. Even if the government comes back to normal, it's going to take like 2 or 3 weeks for them to reimburse that money back to the states, and so they can put that in your card, your benefits SNAP card. So just think about that. Tip number 3, check your current SNAP EBT status. If you're SNAP or might be eligible, check your EBT card balance. Understand when your next benefits is scheduled, and verify your eligibility. Recertification is up to date, and things could get delayed. Number 4, adjust your budget now. If a food assistance interruption comes, reduce non-essential spending. Negotiate bills like utilities or your phone, and prioritize your food and medical needs. Planning ahead makes a big difference. Number 5, community network and help others, if you can, of course. If you're able, check out on neighbors, especially elder ones, Share information and resources. Community solidarity helps prevent panic and disorder. Also, if you see others struggling, volunteer or donate where you can. Helping now builds resilience for everyone. Number 6, stay informed and prepare for long-term disruption. We don't know how long this is going to last, guys. This is probably going to be one of the longest government shutdown in history. The last one was 35 almost days in 2019. The way it looks things right now, they're not getting into any communication right now. They're not getting into anything. They're still very divided. So I would say just prep yourself. If the SNAP cutoff extends beyond November, the impact could widen. Keep an emergency fund, even if it's small. Explore alternatives and assistance programs, and stay connected with local governments alerts. All right, guys. So what is my final thoughts on this, just to wrap things up? I'll tell you what. This is one of those quiet crisis situations for me, It may not make as many headlines as Hurricane Melissa, which I couldn't have talked about that, Melissa, today. But I decided to go, with the people, with the American people. So the consequences for many families are real and immediate. If 42 million people are stand to lose food assistance, especially the elderly and the kids, that is not just a personal issue. It touches businesses, local economies, social instability, and community welfare. So So whether or not widespread looting or chaos happens, I hope it doesn't, it is smart to assume that some disruption may occur and prepare accordingly. So if you're older or vulnerable, you might want to start your preparations now because the margin for error is slim. Thanks for tuning in to my daily news X. Please stay alert, stay prepared, and let's look for one another. I'll see you the next time with more updates and more information. Have yourself a great day.